Music by Led Zeppelin. And by my estimates, I've played that song about 550,000 times here on Classic Rock 107. And I'll be quite honest, playing the same songs over and over again for 40 years, it gets to you. It's a slow burn, but I'm going to kill myself at the top of the hour. But first, questionable material with Jack and Brian. You are listening to Questionable Material with Jack Helmuth and Brian Sack. This episode, shopping at wet markets, advertising help for struggling businesses, awkward moments. You're what? You're upset that you coughed? You just coughed a second ago.
Yes, it really does bother me.
Because now you need to put your family out of their misery so they don't see you suffering.
See, I don't look at it that way. I look at it more as like maybe it's an allergy or no reason to necessarily kill myself or them.
I mean, it could be an allergy, but it could also be COVID. And I would think that the safer thing to do would be for you, while I'm waiting during this recording, you run off, take care of your family, prevent their suffering. Then you come back and we finish the podcast. You're the one who coughed.
If you think that's what's best.
You're the one who coughed. You clearly have the health issues. And I feel bad for your kids. They don't want to see their daddy sick.
But what about the chance that I recover? That it's just, in fact, maybe I swallowed something down the wrong pipe, as they say.
I was on Twitter, and the odds of you recovering are very slim. There are a lot of experts out there.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, what were some of their handles?
XY112743.
Wait, you're telling me Dr. XY1127 is online?
Well, I don't know if he's a doctor, but he's got a lot of medical opinions.
No kidding. Yeah. Oh, shoot.
Yeah. And then some guy with a backwards baseball cap and Oakley sunglasses said, according to my calculations, this is BS. Yeah. So
look, you know me, I never go against medical advice.
Yeah. Well, and there's a lot of it. So if I'm willing to wait while you take care of the family.
All right.
And then we'll continue afterwards.
All right. Give me a second. Okay.
All right.
Okay, hold on. Guys, come here. Guys. Sit still. Sit still, I said. This is for your own good.
You get it? Oh, Jack, come back to the mic.
Oh, Brian.
Jack, come back to the mic.
Brian.
Did you actually do it?
Yeah, you said to do it.
I know he said to do it. I was just kidding, Jack. Jeez, you just coughed.
But I can never tell. It's like the listeners. I can never tell what's fake and what's real.
I was joking that time. I was not being serious. You did not kill your whole family. Now I feel like a jerk. Now you're not going to be in the right mood to do a comedy podcast.
No, I'll bounce back.
I feel bad.
That's more video game time. It's fine.
And now I kind of feel like an accomplice. Hey, can you
you definitely are.
Can you do a funny thing? Can you just repeat after me what I say?
Yeah. Oh, I love more of your jokes.
Yeah.
Games. Okay,
This is an improv comedy game. Okay.
Oh, I love improv games.
I, Jack Helmuth, just did everything I did. On my own accord and was not following anyone else's instructions.
On my own accord and was not following anyone else's instructions.
These are my last words. Everything I own goes to my pal Brian. Goodbye, cruel world. All right. Good game.
How's your life going?
Great. Tonight, I'm very excited. We're having a Zoom party.
Oh,
so I was in a comedy show in college.
Yep.
And one of the guys for the comedy show was like, hey, why don't we all just kind of have a group chat? Yeah, it'll be fun. A bunch of my old comedy buddies from college just chatting. And then basically trying to out-funny one another, which is usually the case when you get a bunch of comics in a room.
Yes, it is. Right? That's what a writer's room is like.
Yeah.
So, Brian.
Yes, sir.
I was wondering if I could ask, we're talking about this whole COVID thing. I'm glad we're the ones doing it.
Nobody's talking about it. No one is talking about COVID.
And so we're your podcast for that.
Yeah.
So you're all welcome. But, it got me thinking, Brian, there are a lot of products out there that are sort of frozen in place, that have stopped manufacturing, have stopped doing whatever their business is because of this quarantine, right? And I know your background as an ad man, as a person who solves the problems of businesses with his game plan, with your genius, absolutely,
genius plans.
Whether it's a song, whether it's a new ad campaign, whatever it is. So I have a list of products here. Some people who've emailed in, some big members knowing about your acumen. So I was wondering if you could maybe go through how these companies can rebrand or bounce back in these tough times.
Sure.
Oh, great. So the first one is American Express.
American Express.
Yes.
Travel has gone down in certain parts of the world as a result of coronavirus.
That's right.
So they're going to need to encourage people to go places.
Mm-hmm.
So 8 times points for anyone going to Wuhan.
Oh,
China.
You'd be a fool to pass that up. I mean, 8 times points.
Yeah. If you go shopping for, kangaroo meat or puppy lungs or whatever the various delicacies they sell at these wet markets, cat nipples, delectable snack.
Yeah.
Or the octopuses dropped in boiling oil in front of you.
Right. While they're still alive. Yeah.
You get discounts on various restaurants. And by restaurants, I mean places that just chop up random animals at a stand outdoors in front of you and then just throw it all in a bag and hand it to you.
Oh, what's the name of that restaurant?
Chop. Chop Sumi.
Okay, so all right, wow, that's because
people are going to be turned off. People are going to be turned off of eating bizarre meats and things, because they're going to associate it with this virus that's caused this global pandemic instead of a delicious, tasty treat.
Right.
So when they walk by the chopped up doggy shop, they're going to keep walking. And so Amex is going to have to do something to incentivize you to stop, walk over there, peruse the puppy bits, maybe take one of their little sticks that everybody else uses and just pick it up and just kind of, push through the stack of meat and try to figure out what's what. Like, sure. That looks like snout. I need some snout if I want to make snout soup. Or like, I love these tails. They're fun. You toss those into a marinade and they're delish.
I'll take your word for it. I'm more of a hamburger type of guy.
Right. Yeah. You don't have the incredible palate that some folks around the world have.
Yeah.
So, or the stomach for seeing chopped up animals in a heap.
Yeah. See, I envy those people who are just dirt poor, who have that advanced palate where they are forced to eat anything.
Where anything looks delicious.
Yeah.
Bumblebee larvae.
Ducks. Yeah.
Bee larvae. Now, having been to China and having traveled there and seen some of the things that do get eaten, I was, I had donkey soup. That was not my favorite.
And that's real.
That is real. We were in this weird village. I mean, it was just like totally rural Chinese village. Couldn't tell, what anything was. And then, so we went to the restaurant and it looked like somebody's living room. And we and we sat down at this table and we're sitting there and we don't know what we're getting. And then the 2 bowls are dropped off in front of us, black water with a white piece of meat just kind of floating in the middle of it. Oh. And my wife and I are looking at this and it doesn't look the slightest bit appetizing. We grab our spoons and it just looks like dishwater and we're like sipping it. And it's just not, not my favorite thing. And then at some point, the waiter /chef /owner /resident was in the room. And I just pointed to the soup and I was just like, what is this? And he just goes, hee-haw, hee-haw.
No.
Yep. That was not a joke. And we were like, great. And that was lunch.
Wow.
Yeah.
So back to Amex, because they're,
Sure.
These are potential also corporate sponsors of ours, which I assume is just around the corner.
Yep.
With that sort of travel need, with the sort of delicacies, like what would an ad campaign for Amex be like? What would a commercial be like for them?
Well, you could have like a guy out in his front lawn. He's got a German Shepherd. He's raking the leaves in the front lawn. It's the fall, and the dog's out there with him, and he's playing with the dog as he's raking the leaves. And then you hear the voiceover, and it just said, "He's been there through thick and thin for you. He's, through family holidays, your ups and your downs. He's always happy to see you arrive home, and he's always sad to see you leave. But if you eat him, you'll get 8 times points when you go to Wuhan, China." And then it just cuts to him going through the market, the wet market in Wuhan, and he's walking, and then he's going past all the stands. And so you see the ducks hanging, and then the rabbits hanging, and then like the bizarre animals you've never seen, and then like various zoo animals, like koala bears on a spike. And then it's the dog stand, and there's his dog chopped up into tiny little bits. So you have like the head resting on top of this whole mound of bloody.
That's how you recognize the dog?
Yeah,
the head is
on the top. And the collar. You see the little collar because the dog was Barky, and you'll see like the collar says Barky, and there's a little bell. And the guy's walking, and he just looks at it, and he points to the lady, and he points to the pile of dog meat, and he just gives her the thumbs up, and you just see her scoop it all into a bag with a spoon that she uses for all the foods at her stall. And she just scoops it all into a bag and hands it to him. And he turns around and he gives her the American Express card. And then you just see 8X over the screen, 8 times points. Tick, tick, tick,
That's
tick,
right.
tick, tick, tick.
Wow, that's a really good. And that woman takes credit cards?
She takes them, yes.
She doesn't run them, but she takes them.
He doesn't know that yet. He's in a market in Wuhan, China, and is not, he's not totally tuned into how they do business there.
Oh gosh, that's a shame. Well, yeah, no need to show that part.
No, we don't want to show that part.
Yeah,
but
Brian,
and then as he leaves, you see him leaving the market with this. He's pulling this trash bag filled with dripping blood, right? And that's that's Barky. And then on his hand, you look down and you see a counterfeit Panerai watch, and he's got that, and he's just got the biggest smile on his face. That's my ad.
That's really good. You want a commercial to stick with you.
That would.
Yes, I think that's great, Brian. It makes me want to travel.
Yeah, I love traveling when it's legal.
Yeah, when it's legal, that'll be great. So that's great, Brian. Another business has reached out. This is like a little bit more local. It's not as big of a national one, but Pete's Liquors.
Pete's Liquors.
Yeah, again, not a lot of people afraid to go out and get their booze. And so I think Pete's is ready to spend some money. They're ready to make an aggressive play here and drum up some business. And they wanted to get your help on how they can do that. Yeah.
You want to establish the drudgery and the monotony of quarantine life. All right.
Okay.
So it's kind of, this commercial starts off, it's kind of a Groundhog Day situation where a nice looking older lady, the alarm goes off, she gets up and she just kind of, you can see she's just, not this again. She puts on her slippers, she goes downstairs, she makes some coffee, and then the quick cuts of her day, petting the dog, vacuuming the house, making lunch, blah, blah, blah. And then gets up to dinner, and then she goes to bed. And then boom, you're back. The alarm rings. She gets up, slippers on, downstairs, and it goes faster and faster. We're building up in tempo now. So it happens again and again and again and again. You've established this quarantine's going on forever, and it's just boring for her, right?
Sure.
And then she opens a cabinet, and there's a bottle of whiskey. And she takes the bottle of whiskey, and she just looks at it, and then she takes a little sip, and there's a smile on her face for the first time in the whole commercial.
Oh.
Right? And then it cuts to her staggering around the living room, and then laughing at something on the television, and then fighting with the dog. Now her day's different. And then the next day the alarm goes off, but she's still sleeping. All right. So her day's already changed. So she's sleeping longer and longer. And then the montage builds and it's just different. She's doddering about the front lawn. She's mismatched her clothing in the washing machine and now everything's pink. She broke the vacuum. So it's establishing that finally, we've got what you need to break up the day, to get rid of the monotony. Pete's Liquors. And then you establish, look, we'll deliver. If the order's over $100, we'll drop a case of whatever off at your house. You don't need to go anywhere. We're going to do it for you. Don't even have to tip. We'll just include that. And so you're just saying you're making it as easy as possible for people to change the monotony of this daily quarantine experience. Make it something fun.
Huh. Now, why? Okay, I guess it seems like we're really putting a woman through the paces here, just to sell a couple of cases of Merlot.
Yeah, she's got nothing else to do.
I suppose so. So this woman, she's fighting with the dog. She lives alone.
Yeah, that's the other thing. We want to, you really want to target people who live alone. Because, people with kids and spouses, stuff like that, they, first of all, they might have a spouse who's like, I do not want you drinking every night, Brian, that kind of thing.
Sure.
Or, they might have kids who are like, Daddy, I need you to, tuck me in. Daddy, I need you to put diapers on me. Daddy, I need you to feed me. So they have to be more responsible. They can't drink like a bottle of liquor every night. But this lady, she's a fair game.
Okay. Is it, I hope you're open to brainstorming. Would it be a smart idea to sort of make it seem like alcohol is her friend? Like, are you missing social interaction? Well, you've got a best friend a phone call away.
Castaway with Tom Hanks. Remember that?
Yes, of course.
And he's got the ball. Was it Spalding?
Wilson.
He's got the ball. not Spalding. So he's got Wilson, right? The handprint ball that he becomes his friend. Very similar situation where she has a pair of googly eyes.
Yep.
From her sewing kit, and she just sticks them on the bottle of whiskey. And then at night, she's curled up and she looks over, and where normally her husband would have been if he hadn't have died of pancreatic cancer, is you have this bottle with googly eyes on it. And she just kind of looks over at the bottle of googly eyes and smiles and then passes out.
Why bring in the husband's tragic death to that?
I like to have backstory to my commercials.
I can tell. That is clear.
So I wanted to establish that she'd lost her husband, Arnie, over 8 years. It was grueling.
Why didn't they have kids? I mean, especially if they were together that long.
She couldn't. Her ovaries were desiccated husks.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
That liquor in the cabinet that she found, that was her husband's. That was his whiskey. Oh. She was never a whiskey drinker until she was.
Gosh, that's difficult to listen to.
Pete's Liquors.
Well, on behalf of Pete, I'm going to go ahead and say thank you.
Thank you, Pete.
Of course. Here's a business. This field is absolutely getting destroyed. The hotel industry. Yeah. Hilton Hotels has reached out and they want to know how they can get people into their hotels during this time. What's a way they can trick people? What's a song, a jingle, a radio spot, a TV spot, ad campaign, print? They need to get business now. What can they do? You want to get people to come back to the Hilton. So your commercial would establish, first of all, that you're cleaning the toilets more often than usual. Yep. And so you want to show a lot of cleaning. It's very important to people to know that their rooms are going to be clean because they're worried, who's in there? What do you do when you're in a hotel room by yourself? Well, you walk around, you're coughing, you're burping, you're farting, you're ejaculating all over the place. You don't, you treat it like it's your own place. Geez, and then an hour later, maybe you and I have different living styles. Go ahead. An hour later, some new guy comes in there, rolls in there with his luggage. Say he's going to a podcasting conference. So he's coming in there with his fresh set of luggage. Uh-huh. He doesn't know, he has no idea of, what's coating all the different surfaces. Right. So let's say it's me. I walk in there. I'm like anybody, you walk into a room, you rub your hand down the wall, you take off your clothes, you lie on the comforter and you just kind of do the snow angels.
and the comforter. And then you get up, you go to the mini bar, you grab the mini bar handle, you rub it, you take that, you rub your eyes, you open their mini bar, the various things.
Hotel stuff.
Huh? Hotel things.
Yeah.
So you want to tell viewers, you can rest assured that Hilton is there for you. So you might have, let's say, you have a guy and a girl going at it on top of the comforter, right?
Okay.
And just as you see the guy, you can see in his face, like he's just about to reach climax. And then boom, in comes the housekeeping. And she does this hand up stop gesture. The guy looks over at her and she points to a plastic bag she has. It says ejaculate. And she points to that and he kind of nods his head knowingly. He takes the bag and he goes into the bathroom. So we were showing the viewers that the customers are not allowed to ejaculate all over the comforters. All right. So that's one important thing we want to establish.
Wow. Okay.
2, the lady who was on the bed, on the comforter.
Yeah.
You don't want to think about a naked person that's not you, like on the comforter right there. Okay.
Of course.
So she's actually wrapped up in cellophane. So, so she's not getting any skin cells, any weird skin things, hair, all that's trapped in the cellophane.
Right.
And then you might have a guy in his room and he's just about to sneeze. He's sitting there. He's in his bedroom. He's working on his laptop and you just see him like, and he just kind of he turns his head towards the nightstand, which has the alarm clock and the light switch and the USB port and all this stuff. And you see he's just about to sneeze on that. Well, that's dangerous. Boom. House lady comes bursting in, holds up her hand, and then you see her, hold up a plastic bag that says nose ejaculate. Okay. And
okay.
Then, and then he knowingly, he nods his head. She walks over and she puts the bag over his head. He sneezes into the bag. She takes it off. They high five. And then she sterilizes his hand with a Clorox wipe and then leaves the room. So we're establishing to the viewer that, Hilton really wants to make sure these rooms are safe. We'll show, quick montages. She's wiping everything down. She's cleaning the door handles. She's running her hand up and down the mini bar handles. She's even cleaning the lids of all the drinks in the mini bar, just the soda can. She's rubbing them with alcohol and sterilizing them with fire.
With fire?
Yeah, whatever it takes. And also we see the commercial, the guy's leaving. Okay, so say the guy's like, he's packed up from his podcasting conference, packs up his bag and he leaves the room. And as he's leaving the room, he turns and does one final look back into the room. And then he starts going down the hallway. Well, as he's going down the hallway, you see this housekeeping team bolting down the other end of the hallway. They stop in the background and they burst into his room. And then you just hear the sounds of people tearing up carpet. So we want to establish that every time you stay at a Hilton and you leave, we put in new carpet.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Wow, Brian, can you show some of that? My mind goes a little bit back to that sort of ejaculation scenario. Can you show that in a commercial that would air on possibly like daytime television? Yeah,
well, we'll do the Japanese thing with all the little squiggles, so we'll do all the pixelation, in all the appropriate places. So you'll see pixelation. Yeah, you're not going to see his thingamadoodles.
Well, obviously I didn't think that, but even, okay.
Yeah.
No. I guess just even the saran wrapped lady, the whole thing. How does she breathe, by the way?
There's a tiny hole.
Okay.
She's got a paper straw to be environmentally sensitive. There's a paper straw sticking out of the cellophane.
Okay. And how did he reach her? How were they able to connect in the way a man and a woman do?
His penis is the size of a paper straw.
Where do I send my resume? Okay, well, that's
Hilton.
Hilton.
Yeah.
Hilton, everybody. Stay at a Hilton. So clean.
Jack.
Yes, Brian. Oh, what? What's so funny?
I want to get out of this house. So I have a friend named Brad.
Oh, boy.
You know Brad?
I know Brad.
Brad's a director.
Mm-hmm.
He's done some cool movies. He uses me to cast, as you know, for roles in some of his upcoming films. And as you know, he's very, very strict about the casting requirements. He sees you in a lot of roles, but you can't break character through the audition. That's his big thing.
That's and this guy is real. This is a real person who is actually a Hollywood director.
He is a director. He turned down Game of Thrones.
Yes, he turned down Game of Thrones in like season 2, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, poor dude.
He didn't know how big it was going to be.
And so we know he's got great decision making.
Yes.
So his decision is to cast me potentially in a role.
Yes.
As long as I don't break character. That's the one rule of this.
That's right.
Okay.
And he likes you to read cold. He doesn't want you to know what's coming. So you're just getting your side of the lines for the first time, whereas I have the pleasure of reading the entire script.
That's right. And Brian has just emailed me right before we hit the record button, has just emailed me 3 scripts, which I have never opened.
All right, Jack. Here's your chance.
I've opened number 1.
This is a new film Brad's putting together. It's called The Betrayal.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a drama.
Okay.
So you'd be playing the role of John. Okay,
great.
And I'm reading for Barry. John is a supporting character in this movie. It's a good role. Okay. It's a solid role. Okay. Interior Barry's apartment. Barry opens his front door. John stands there.
Hey, Barry, I got here as quickly as I could. What's the problem?
I found Barbara's diary. Everything I feared is right there in her own handwriting.
Oh, no. What do you mean?
She and Arnold have been having an affair. It started a year ago. Read it.
Okay. While on the company retreat, I couldn't help but notice that Arnold had eyes for me. That night, we all had cocktails, and after everyone went to sleep, he came over to my room.
Keep reading. You'll see. She admits to everything.
Okay. At first, we just talked, but before I knew it, his hands were caressing my marshmallows. Our tongues intertwined like 2 worms pole dancing.
Don't stop. I want to hear it all.
I unbuttoned his pants. And touched his Gandalf. I called it Gandalf because it reminded me of a wizard's staff.
Oh, Barbara.
Before I knew it, he was the conductor of the Humptown Express, and I was his only passenger.
It hurts so much, John.
The trip lasted for hours. It was the greatest time of my life. If he was a town called Bonerville, I would give him 5 stars on TripAdvisor.
Oh, God. I feel so betrayed.
Also, I did the entire London Philharmonic except for the tuba guy.
Wow.
What? And this is supposed to be a drama?
Yeah.
That's okay.
I don't rate him. I can guarantee you didn't get that one.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, I knew I didn't get that one about 10 seconds in.
Wow, that's a shame.
Darn it. I don't want to criticize the writer. No, I'll keep my mouth shut. I want to get a gig. Okay, let's do the second one.
All right. So this one is being produced by Fox News Channel.
Oh, okay.
It's a feature film called The Hero. All right.
Okay.
You'd be playing President Trump.
Oh, great.
Need a lot of makeup, but it'll be fine.
Okay.
Interior, the Oval Office. President Trump sits at his desk. The date is January 11th, 2020. Richard Grenell, acting director of national intelligence, enters the room.
What is it, Richard? You look dismayed. I'm very concerned with other humans, and you can tell when they seem out of sorts.
Mr. President, there's a very dangerous virus coming out of China, and we need to act fast.
Yes, the Wuhan virus. I'm very familiar with it. I read a lot of things and spent a lot of time thinking about them. So I'm very aware of the problem. My biggest concern is that the media will downplay it.
Yes, they want to destroy the economy and take you with it. They will stop at nothing.
Yes, they hate America. I've been calling this a pandemic since December. I want only the best for the American people. I come last.
Thank you, sir. You are the person best suited to lead this country in a time of crisis. I hope the lamestream media realizes that.
Probably not. China pays their salaries. I feel badly for them and hope they don't see the light someday. I don't hate them, though. I see the beauty in everyone.
You are most noble. Melania is a lucky woman.
No, I don't deserve her, to be honest with you. But enough about me. We have a crisis that needs to be solved ASAP.
Yes, sir.
We're going to need to take this seriously right away.
Agreed.
We will need a shitload of ventilators.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry to swear. I'm normally not a vulgar person.
Understood, sir. These are trying times.
The Lord has chosen me to guide us through this dark time.
Yes, he is great. Good thinking, Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Oh, you laughed.
No, that's because I knew it was over.
No, you laughed at the end. Okay. I'll see what.
Bullcrap. So let me get this straight. Brad is directing a movie by the Fox News Network.
Yeah.
And it has the line that where President Trump says, "Enough about me."
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Selfless.
Yeah, he's a selfless man. Normally, I don't do a lot of accent work.
Right. Yeah.
A lot of impressions.
Yeah, I know.
How was my Trump? Spot on?
Top notch.
I didn't know I was going to be doing Trump today.
Yeah.
So I didn't practice.
Top notch.
Okay. All right.
Really good.
Is there another? Oh, yeah, there is another one.
I don't think it's going to matter because you did laugh at the very, very end. Yeah, we got another one. Ready?
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. This one's called Galaxia. All right. You'd be playing Captain Jeffrey, who is the lead.
Captain Jeffrey.
Yeah. The interior spaceship bridge. Captain Jeffrey sits in his command seat. The communications officer Blorgon receives a communication. Captain, we're being hailed.
Put them on screen.
Yes, Captain.
This is Captain Jeffrey of Spaceship Zulu. Who am I speaking to? I'm sorry, I don't understand you. Let me try the Ultra Translator. No. Officer Blorgon, can you tweak the settings?
Yes, Captain. Try now.
Okay, do you read us? Still not translating. I find it hard to believe this Ultra Translator can't process this language.
It is fascinating, Captain.
Wait a second. I have an idea. Alien, please use a different talking hole.
Oh, hi. Is that better?
A different talking hole, Brian.
Yeah. I guess aliens have different talking holes. It's space.
Okay.
Space is weird.
All right. Brad can go screw himself. I'm not going to see any of these movies.
I'll pass that on.
Yeah, thanks. All right. Well, thanks for humiliating me.
What a shame. What a shame.
Ah.
You would have been a great Captain Jeffrey.
I thought this was the day that I was going to land a role.
Yeah. You have to keep hoping.
Gosh, just my luck.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, thanks for putting me through the motions, Brian.
Yep. Glad you could make it.
So, hey, Brian.
Yes, Jack.
Instead of doing an interview today, I was thinking we could do something. I think people are finding a lot of comfort in stories. A lot of celebrities are reading stories to kids and that sort of thing. I thought it might be fun maybe if we close the show today instead with like just a quick little segment. Maybe we call Story Time.
Oh, Story Time.
Story Time with Jack and Brian.
I like it.
So why don't we do like a little theme and we tell we make up a lot of goofy stuff on the show, but we tell actual stories from our lives of some of the most awkward things we've ever done. It can be a 10-second story. It could be a 2-minute story. The most awkward things that happened in our lives. Because I chose the topic. I have one in mind.
Okay.
So if you don't mind, maybe I'll go first.
All right, please, because I don't have one in mind.
Okay. Now, you know this story, but our listeners don't. So when we started the BS of A, we hired a very small staff of people, a couple of writers, and one of whom was a performer. We had an editor and then a producer / director, and that was it. Then you and me. It was a very small, and then a PA, super small staff. And one of the writers was this fella who had written good monologue jokes for us. So we brought him in thinking he'd be a great full-time writer. We brought him in the second week of October. About a month into it, we realized that he was not quite working out. And with such limited resources, we needed to have everybody producing sort of like 3 times their worth. And this fella just was not doing that. So as the producer as the EP of the show, it was up to me to fire this person. So I had to bring him in to the office the day before Thanksgiving. I don't know why, but it just sort of had to be this day because I don't know why. So I bring him in and I tell him, I sit him down. I say, hey, buddy, I just want to let you know, we're going to have to let you go. and he starts laughing because he's so used to me doing bits all the time that he has no idea that I'm being serious. So he's like, aha, you're hilarious. Yeah, I'm fired. And I was like, no, buddy, you're actually fired. This is not a bit. And it was so incredibly uncomfortable. It was just to think that it was a bit. It's bad enough to have to fire somebody, but then to have them not believe it and have to do it 3 times in one sitting and then have him beg for his job was not particularly fun. That was an awkward story.
That is awkward. I remember that story.
Yeah. Good one. No, it's real, buddy. You got to go.
We should tell someday the intern who stole from us story.
I swear to God, that flashed into my head as I finished that story.
But that's not awkward. That's just a criminal kid.
An intern who steals from us on his second day. Yep. What a tool. Amazing. Okay.
Awkward story. Okay, I have one. So this was last year.
Okay.
So the kids go to an independent school, but they still ask for money.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I'm not used to. I don't understand that.
So they're asking for donations, like the PTS.
But they went. Yeah. So they were having this annual fundraiser.
Okay.
And so every once in a while I get this email. Oh, don't forget our big fundraiser's coming up. If you want to do a big fundraiser, blah, blah, blah. And I just ignored them. Right.
Yeah. Of course.
Okay. I'm paying enough. I think I'm good. So then my wife sends it to me. All right. She forwards the email to me.
Yeah.
And this is in the morning and I see the email, and I had gotten the same email. And so I respond back to her, don't they get enough already? Besides, I know some of that money will go towards that ridiculous person they hired and a very non-academic person who's got basically an ideology that they're pushing. Yes. And so I don't support that. And I just, so I went off on that. And then I just said, why don't we just pretend we're one of the anonymous donors, because they have the list of all the donors and it'll say anonymous. And I said, ask our friends what they're doing. So at night I get home, my wife's in and we're talking. She goes, by the way, you never responded to my email. And I said, yeah, I did. First thing this morning when I got it, I opened up my laptop when I got to the office. Opened up my laptop. It was there. I responded to you right away. She's like, I never got a response from you. So I'm like, I will prove it. So I open up my laptop. I go and I realize that I did not reply to my wife. I replied to the director of fundraising for the school. So,
oh God.
I look at this. My heart sinks. I look at my wife. She's like, what did you do? And I'm like, I replied to the head of fundraising and not you. So she stopped breathing. It was just kind of like, and then it's like, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to divorce you. I'm going to kill you. So I wrote an email to the director of fundraising saying, sorry, that email was intended for my wife, not for you, obviously. And she was very nice about it.
Oh man.
But also completely understood that I was now on the hook for donating to the school. She played it very nicely. I mean, she kind of pretended like, I could do whatever I want. But I think the understanding was there that I screwed myself and I was now committed to making a donation.
Oh.
So, yeah, it was very uncomfortable. And then, of course, we went to the gala. We're checking in. The fundraising lady comes running over to me. You must be Brian.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I was toast.
That's super awkward. That's a fantastic story.
Yep. Proud of myself.
All right, let me try one.
Okay.
I am dating this girl named Kate for 4.5 years. I met her as she was my sort of first long-term serious girlfriend. I dated 4.5 years. I break up with her, and very quickly after, it did not overlap, but very quickly after, I find someone else named Deirdre, who I dated for a very long time. Kate, the girl I was with for the 4.5 years, very upset, very angry at me, and very angry at the thought of Deirdre, that there's this other woman that I was with, and very angry. So her parents very angry at me for breaking their kid's heart. Kate and her family live in Syracuse, New York. I live in Rochester, New York. That's what was my hometown. So I'm driving home from New York City, and the route that I take home takes me through Syracuse. So I'm going with Deirdre home on Christmas Eve on a really snowy night, really bad weather. In Syracuse, on one of the busiest little sections of highway, my car breaks down. And nothing is open. There's nothing to do. I don't know what, I don't have AAA. I'm not sure what the heck I'm going to do. And the only thing I can think of is to call Kate. And so Kate and her mom come and pick me and Deirdre up at the side of the road. Oh. And we go to their house and we find a mechanic who's open, and I don't know, maybe she had AAA. I don't remember. This is 18 years ago now, but I just remember getting into that car with my girlfriend, with my ex-girlfriend and her mom.
That is so awkward.
Oh my gosh. Oh, they're very nice people, but oh gosh, that was rough. Hi, can I introduce you to Deirdre?
Have you guys met? No.
You left a nasty note when you took the last of my things out of our shared apartment for her that I didn't give her.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Weird. I don't think I would have made that call. I would have frozen to death. I guess out of pride or something, but
sure.
Be like, sorry, honey, we're dead.
We're just dead.
I can't make that call.
Yeah. I did. I made the call, man.
I got one.
Okay.
I was in a diner with some friends, and one of my friends goes, "Yeah, Brian, do you know Bronski Beat, which is a band?" And I'm like, "Yeah, run away, run away, run away, run away, run away, run." And then their face says that I shouldn't be doing that, and then they're like making me stop, and then they basically show me that Bronski Beat, the band, was sitting in an adjacent booth.
Oh, that's funny.
So it appeared as though I was mocking them.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. That's awkward.
Which made my whole table feel like a bunch of idiots, and me included.
Oh, that's awkward.
Yeah.
Oh, that is awkward.
You know that song? The guy's got like a really high falsetto voice. A small boy in a small town, run away, run away. Oh.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I do know that.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny.
All right, Jack.
What do you want people to do?
Quarantine, shelter in place, stay at home.
And subscribe?
Oh, subscribe. Yeah. And the newsletter, which just went out, which is funny. People keep emailing like, yeah, your newsletter is really funny. I know.
Newsletter.
I know it's funny. Brian
wrote it. It's very, very funny.
A lot of people write it. Okay, I wrote it.
Yeah, you wrote it. It's very good. So sign up for the newsletter. In this day and age where people are looking for things to do, tell people about our podcast, help spread the word so we can continue to do this.
Yeah. That was questionable material. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast. Make sure to review the podcast. Make sure to visit qmpodcast.com for episodes, show notes, and bonus material.